Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast. Today on the pod, we inspect the social media ban. The minimum age legislation that commenced on December 10, under 16s, no longer allowed to use the major social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, X, YouTube, Reddit, Twitch, Threads and Kick. The obligation, of course, on the platforms, not of the parents or the kids, which is a bit of good news there, and penalties to those platforms for $49.5 million for non-compliance. How's it all going? We're nearly 8 weeks in. Should we be celebrating or commiserating? Has the legislation landed with a thud, or has it been smooth sailing? Today on the Happy Families podcast, we have a look at what's going right, what's going wrong, and what we need to do in our families to help our kids to navigate the digital world with these changes safely and effectively. Stay with us. G'day, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real parenting solutions every single day. It's Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. We just love that. Kylie, today it's a conversation that is being met with, I'm seeing a lot of exasperation from parents who are kind of going, it's been a big nothing burger.
What's the big deal?
Yeah, like it was supposed to do stuff, nothing's happening. So today we wanted to have a chat about what's working, what's not, and what we need to be doing in our families if we're not quite satisfied with the current situation in terms of children under 16 supposedly not having access to social media, but a lot of them still having access.
One of your followers posted this online and it really hit me hard. They said, this isn't about cutting kids off from their friends. It's about removing big tech algorithms from our children's brains.
Yeah, I love this. It's not like we're punishing kids saying, that's it, kids, you can't have this thing that everybody wants. You can't have this social media thing.
We're banning communication. We don't want you talking to people.
Yeah, it's literally. So here's what's fascinating. I mentioned this on the pod last year, but it's just one of those things that keeps recycling through my brain. Meta was in court in the United States late last year. And in an affidavit that they produced, they said that their platforms, Instagram and Facebook specifically, about 90% of content that's shared on those platforms is not shared, not communicated from me to you. That is, from a person who knows the people that they're communicating with. Overwhelmingly, everything that's happening on those platforms now, or at least 90% of it, is strangers communicating with strangers through short-term TV, short-term video, like really short video content, short TV content. So your point, extending on what that Facebook follower said, is I just think really cuts to the chase. It really gets to the very core of what this is about. We are not banning, I'm saying we like it's me, the federal government, the e-safety commissioner, is not banning communication. In fact, we want kids to communicate. What is happening is that platforms now no longer have the opportunity to algorithmically hijack our children's neural architecture and dopaminergic systems to maximize time on screens.
It's interesting to me. I just, as you were talking, I had this image. When COVID hit, the world was like shut down, right? We didn't have access to the face-to-face relationships that we would celebrate and enjoy. And the world had a meltdown. Like they really, really struggled. It's almost like we were given this gift to remind us how important face-to-face communication is. And we promised we'd never go back,
That's right.
right?
I'm never going to go back to how it was.
But that's exactly what we've done.
Yeah. So let's talk about the ban itself. It was never going to be clean, and it was never going to be immediate. And something that is often missed in dialogue around this, and I've done a number of media interviews just in the last few weeks about this, the platforms were ideally going to be up and running straight away, but nobody that I spoke to with any quote-unquote power here, the people who are right behind everything, nobody expected that everything was going to be smooth sailing from day one. They've got to get through this messy phase. And I think what we really want to be doing is judging this in, let's say, 12 months rather than 8 to 12 weeks. We're literally, like, what is it? It's the 3rd of Feb. We're not even 2 months into the legislation rolling out. When you think about, we were alive, believe it or not. We were alive when the seatbelt legislation rolled out. People didn't instantly start wearing their seatbelts perfectly on day one in the 1970s when it became the law that you have to wear a seatbelt. It took time for people to get their head around it and start doing it.
well, take it down a notch just to personal, kind of life. You decide you're going to make a change in your everyday life.
Oh, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. And day 1, day 2, day 3, you're doing amazing.
Right.
And then you have a slip back, right? Like if we judge something on a day-to-day basis, we actually don't see the full picture because we've got such a narrow view with which we're looking at things.
Yeah, the metaphor only holds a little bit because like we start our New Year's resolutions with a lot of enthusiasm. The big tech platforms did not start this with a lot of enthusiasm. But anyway, let's have a chat about how it's all going, huh?
I guess let's start with where we're winning.
There was a press release that just came out maybe 2 weeks ago. Meta has closed over 500,000 accounts belonging to children. So their press release says, and I'm paraphrasing, that's 500,000 Australian kids that are no longer using our platform. So that's their press release. They're saying, look at how good we are. I would argue that that's probably not what it means.
Yeah, I was about to say the same.
Right. Nice spin.
Because I've had lots of conversations with people whose children
got booted
and they just replaced their accounts.
Signed up for a new account and lied about it. Yeah. So, but it is a win because there's 500,000 kids' accounts that have been closed down. The other thing that has struck me, I've had a handful of conversations with parents who are reporting genuine, real relief. Mm-hmm. Like they're saying the kids are happier, they're more active, they're outside, they're less anxious, they're feeling free from their screen. And I think that's a huge win. And a couple of parents have also said to me, in fact, I did a podcast interview the other day and the dad said, I know what I went through. He's a parent who was born in the late 90s. So now he's got his first child and he's saying, I know what I went through being one of those first generations to really have a whole lot of access to these platforms. Don't want my kids having access to it. And I think that we're seeing a cultural shift where it is going to be increasingly weird for younger children and tweens and even younger teens to have access to things like Instagram. It's becoming not normal, which is what we want, right? In the same way that wearing seatbelts is normal and not wearing one is not normal. That's good news. And the platforms are at least trying to. I mean, I got a press release from Roblox the other day. They're not even included in the social media ban, but platforms seem to be taking increasing amounts of responsibility instead of hiding behind, well, it's just up to the parents. So that's where we're winning. That's my brief summary of that. I think that's kind of good news.
Yeah, I guess there's got to counter it with the ways in which we're kind of losing here.
Okay, I'm going to go through my list of where we're losing pretty quickly because I want to talk about what to do and the clock's ticking. So the first thing is this. We're losing because kids are migrating platforms. So they're leaving these major social media platforms and heading to Discord and a whole lot of other smaller apps and going into gaming spaces. But as I was making this list, I paused and thought to myself, well, hang on just a sec. The goal here is not to stop kids communicating. The goal here is to put them into spaces where big tech can't get access to them with the algorithms and keep on feeding them endless scrolling content. So if they're messaging friends, if they're collaborating in games, if they're not going through this infinite scroll, the infinite feed, I don't think that's actually bad. So even if they are migrating to other platforms, they're going to places like WhatsApp where there is no algorithm. The algorithm isn't manipulating, so that might be fine. There is a risk, of course. Some of them are going to platforms where there's less moderation. There could be more predation because we haven't educated them about why the big platforms are harmful. Other losses, parents are signing kids up for new accounts with fake ages. I have heard so many kids talking about how their parents just signed them up for a new account.
Yeah.
One word to every parent who's listening who might have done that: stop. Honestly, just stop. You are literally undermining your child's well-being, and you're also teaching your kids that the law doesn't matter. Just stop. Other losses, kids are lying about their ages. They're signing up for accounts using VPNs to fake the location, although apparently the tech is doing a half-decent job of identifying that. And there's a whole lot of kids that haven't been removed at all, our daughter being one of them. So that's the challenge.
Well, I guess when we look at the bigger picture, this actually feels like this is more a parent problem than it is a kid problem.
Yeah, well, that part is for sure, yeah.
Kids are going to push the boundaries, they're going to test, that's normal, but parents actively helping them circumvent the protection that's on offer, that I think that's a real issue.
You're absolutely right. Totally agree with you on that. After the break, we're going to look at the 3 most valuable things we can do right now as parents if we really want to help our kids to navigate this social media minimum age legislation effectively. Stay with us. We're back. This is the Happy Families podcast.
You said that you had 3 things you wanted to walk us through.
Yep.
Navigating this period of change. Let's just say you've got a kid. They're really reluctant to give it up. We might have one of those.
No idea what you're talking about.
What are we supposed to do?
All right. First off, we've got to have the why conversation. Don't just say it's the law or social media is bad or because I said so, because I'm the parent. That doesn't work. I've said this a bajillion, million, gazillion times. If you've read my books, this is the stuff where we explore, we don't explode. It's where we get curious, not furious. It's where we provide a really clear rationale, where we step things through so that kids will buy the why. You want to explain things like these platforms are making money by keeping you scrolling. They use algorithms that are designed to show you content that makes you feel something. Usually it's something to make you feel inadequate or angry or envious, because that is the content that keeps you compelled to be there. And also really remind them, we're not banning your friendships. We're protecting you from big tech systems that are designed to manipulate your brain and hijack your brain and stop you from doing the deep inner work and using the parts of the brain that are important, right? Like this is about you being healthier and happier.
And I guess it's about making them smarter consumers instead of just compliant rule followers.
Right. Love that. Second thing that I would say is we've got to offer real alternatives, right? Because nature abhors a vacuum. So I made a big deal about last year, the 3 most important words you can say to your kids are just go outside. And I stand by that, but it's also a little bit glib and it's not really helpful if you are a parent who is struggling and going, well, that's not really working. So,
especially right now. Do you know how humid it is out there?
Well, it is in Queensland, yeah. We have bought a landline for our daughter. So if your children want to talk to friends, give them a phone that texts and calls but doesn't have a camera, or they can't send images. Or one of my staff members has just bought the GME phone. Again, not sponsored. I don't get any kickbacks for talking about the phone, but it's a phone where parental controls are really, really effective, and your kids can have a phone in a way that you can feel good about. If they want to play games with friends, get games that aren't massive multiplayer online games. Get games where you actually have to buy the game and then they have to sit there playing on the console in your living room on the TV, but it's not connected to the internet. Those are the games where there's fewer of the negatives associated with it.
They're feeling disconnected. Organise a play date.
Yeah.
Organise a hangout.
That's the face-to-face stuff.
Yeah, it's so important.
And the third thing, and this I think is maybe the most important of all, is model what you're asking. So if you as a parent are laying on the bed and scrolling Instagram for what was supposed to be 30 seconds but ended up being 30 minutes, stop. Because you're sending a really clear message, and you're not sending the message on the phone. You're sending the message to the eyeballs of your child who is watching you do it. If you're complaining about the ban and you're doom scrolling yourself, your kids are going to notice. So if you want them off screens, create not a screen-based childhood, but a play-based childhood, and show them what an adult play-based childhood looks like. Like, life is not supposed to be phone dependent.
We're a few weeks in now. New Year's is come and gone, and I made a really conscious effort this year to make some changes. I removed all of the games off my phone.
Woohoo!
I've taken social media off my phone.
Woohoo!
And it literally is a communication device or a navigation tool.
Yeah.
And what was really curious was our younger daughter needed to talk to somebody, and the number was on my phone. And so she asked if she could FaceTime her friend, and I said that was fine. And after she'd finished, I kind of was looking for my phone, and I said, "What have you done with it?" And she said, "I put it back in the office because I've made a conscious decision that it's going to charge in the office, and it's out of my bedroom. It's out of our living space. There's no primer for me to pick it up."
Yeah.
And she's already picked that up, and it's just gone straight back there.
Great story. The ban, the social media minimum age legislation, let's call it what it is not perfect. It is very messy. It's being tested in the courts by Reddit right now, and kids are clearly finding workarounds. But you know what it's done? It's changed the default. For the first time, big tech has to justify why children should be on their platforms rather than parents justifying to their kids why they shouldn't be on the platforms. And to me, that's progress. Now, of course, we've got to do the hard work. We've got to teach our kids why these platforms are designed to harm them and give them better ways to connect. But I think that we're on the road to that. There's the update. We hope that that's useful, and we hope that those 3 ideas are handy as well. Check the show notes if you'd like more. And we are going to put together a blog and stick it on the website to give you more information about the stuff we've talked about today. Hopefully that's going to be helpful. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammond provides research, admin, and all of our other support. And for more information to make your family happier, visit us at happyfamilies.com.au.